First on our agenda, I believe it is snapshots of success. Emily?
Before I introduce Ishaan, I'm going to have Janet Chandler come up and speak a little bit about Ishaan's most recent trip to Washington, D.C. as one of 2 Hoosier delegates as part of the United States Senate.
Good evening. The United States Senate Youth Program was started by the United States Senate, and they select, each state has a process to select a couple of delegates yearly. The students receive an all-expense paid trip to Washington, D.C. for a week. They also receive a $10,000 scholarship, and it's sponsored by the Hearst Foundation out of California. And so we have had multiple winners at Hamilton Southeastern High School, and in fact, an employee of the district, Marina Fleming, her daughter, Tara, was a delegate 1 year. And every student who has gone has had a magnificent experience, and Ishaan Modi here is no exception. And so he's going to talk to you a little bit about his experience. Ishaan is on our HSE High School We the People team, and he is will be the salutatorian of our graduating class, and he is Vice President of Student Council and does other stuff as well. So I'll turn it over to Ishaan.
Hi, welcome. Okay, just stand up and talk? Okay. I'm not good at speaking in the microphone because my voice naturally projects, but my trip to Washington, D.C. was a life-changing experience. It was really amazing to meet 103 other brilliant, talented individuals who are passionate about serving their community like I am. And so just a quick rundown of my time there. So it was seven days of a robust agenda. We met speakers from the Chief Justice to the President of the United States, from national security administrators to Department of Defense officials. And so with that, they always gave some sort of speech or some sort of lecture. And except for the president, obviously, because his time is very, very limited, but all the speakers actually gave some sort of lecture or some sort of speech, and then afterwards they opened themselves to questioning. So all of us delegates got to raise our hands, ask them really any question, and that was an amazing experience as well, because you really got to get in the heads of some of our nation's most brilliant leaders. And so every day brought a new challenge, it brought a new experience, and the food there also was incredibly amazing. We stayed at the historic Mayflower Hotel in downtown DC, which I can tell you if you ever go to DC, you should stay there. It's a brilliant hotel, but they had great food. They made so many different desserts from us. I actually have pictures. I'll show Ms. Chandler and Ms. Abbott's and Mr. Hoover all of the different desserts that we got to eat during that week. So just in general, great experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world, and I'm excited that we have such a legacy here at HSE and in the school district of sending such great, talented youth leaders to this program. And I think that keeping it up is something that we should really, really be fixated on in the future.
You probably need to tell them how you got this opportunity.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Also, maybe like who you guys spend special time with.
Yes, okay.
I'll help you out.
Yes. So the process was very, very rigorous, obviously, because it's one of the nation's most prestigious programs. So first, I had to kind of apply through the school, kind of do a nomination process. So Ms. Chandler selected me and one other student from Hamilton Southeastern to actually apply to the statewide Indiana Bar Foundation for selection for the top 10. So I had to write an essay responding to a JFK quote, and my essay was about my parents' immigration to the United States and how that really impacted me and what I stand for. And so with that essay, I did solicit a letter of support from Mr. Hoover. I had to send in a one-page resume, and after all those items were gathered, they selected the top 10, and I was honored to be one of those top 10. We were then invited downtown for a 3-hour government civics exam on federal government and the Indiana government, and then we had about a 20-minute interview with a panel of Indiana Bar Foundation individuals. I think it was the president, the vice president, and then another one involved in the foundation. So from that, they picked the top 2 out of the top 10, and I got the great opportunity of doing it. And then special time, I got to actually speak 2-on-1 with Chief Justice John Roberts, which was, I couldn't even form coherent sentences, if we're being honest, because he walked in and I was just starstruck. I was like, the most brilliant legal mind in the United States of America, and in the world, arguably, is at my fingertips talking to me. And he even knew where I was from because he read my bio. I was introducing myself, and he's like, "Oh, you're from Fishers, Indiana." I was like, "You know where I'm from." It was just amazing to really...
What did you ask him?
I asked him a lot about... I actually asked him a lot about our We the People questions, and one of our questions is about the judiciary, so I asked him a lot about judicial independence, judicial review, and just things of that nature, and he really is one of the most brilliant people I've ever met, and just his answers were so firm, concise, and thought out, and so I was just honored to have even been in the same room as him, much less asking questions, and yeah, that was the main reason that we got extra time with it, but like I said, there were so many other speakers that we actually got to engage in question and answer with as a group of 104 delegates, but yeah.
So was that 2 from every state?
Yes, so there's 104 of them, 2 from every state, and then 2 were selected from the District of Columbia, and then 2 were selected from the Department of Defense Education Activities. So basically, any individuals, any students whose parents live abroad serving in the military, the top 2 from that pool of individuals were chosen as well. So in total, 104 of us. Yeah.
What is your plan? What are your future plans?
Yeah, so I got asked that question a lot during my week there, so I have a very I have a response ready, but I haven't decided yet, but I probably plan to attend Michigan State University as I received as I received a full scholarship opportunity there, but I'm still waiting on some other schools to get back to me, and I plan to double major in chemistry and public policy. So, and I hopefully plan to go into medicine, and then after I practice clinically for a while, I want to go into health policy and advocacy on a governmental level. So, yeah.
So if you have a full ride to Michigan State, how does this $10,000 scholarship fit in? Would that be something you can bank and use for graduate?
That's something I'm in the process of figuring out. I've been calling them. So I think I might be able to use it for study abroad and other personal expenses. So we'll see how that works. But if I'm not allowed to have that $10,000 scholarship, I'd be more than willing to not have it so that someone else in the future can have it.
And I don't know if this was mentioned, but Ishaan is a student member of the foundation, so hence his philanthropic bent right there with mentioning that. So no,
Something you're not doing. He's like thinking.
I've read 120 pages of it. I guess, so I have not finished the book that Ms. Chandler assigned to me. So I guess that's something that I am not doing.
So where are you in the We the People process right now? I know
So,
mock trial, I always get those two mixed up, but they had their state thing. Where's We the People?
so just quick shout out to mock trial. They got second in the state, and some of I'm not on that team, but some of my friends are, and that was just really amazing to hear that news. But for We the People, HSE High School won state in December, and then Fishers High School got second place. So both of those teams are going to the national competition, which is in the end of next month, so in the end of April. And so right now we're putting together our papers and practicing to be ready for that national competition in a little over a month. So just starting over the process, rinse and repeat. It's always hard work.
So you're going back to DC?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2 trips in a month and a half, which again, I'm incredibly privileged and blessed to have those opportunities.
And are they still fundraising?
So our Snap Raise, which was our kind of almost like our GoFundMe platform, that campaign is done, but we are still accepting donations, right? Nice. Any money helps. It helps us get us to nationals at the lowest cost possible, which makes it so that all of us can go. But yeah, that process is going. It's hard work, but it's something to look forward to.
And where did your parents immigrate from?
So my parents are actually from a city called Ahmedabad in Gujarat, which is the western part of India, and so about 20-25 years ago, they immigrated to the United States, originally to Chicago, and then about 15-20 years ago, they came to the Indianapolis area. And they've been here ever since, and I've been born and raised in the Indiana.
And are you bilingual as well?
Huh?
Are you bilingual?
I actually am bilingual, yes. I speak Gujarati, which is a regional dialect of kind of the Indian language. There's so many different dialects, so many different regional languages in India, but yeah, I do speak that. And I guess I speak Spanish, so that makes me trilingual, I guess. I've been in Spanish, so
Multilingual,
yeah.
wow.
Amazing.
Anything else?
I have a question. Of all the speakers you were able to hear, were there any messages that kind of resonated with you? That
Yeah, so Brian Kamoy, who is, I believe, the assistant director of FEMA, actually, he had a really riveting speech, and he was actually an alumnus of this program in 1989, so that was really humbling to see how someone that did this program is doing amazing things within our federal government and within natural disaster relief and things of that nature. So Brian Kamoy, he kind of posed us this question. He asked us, what will you do with your one wild and precious life? And that was really something that stood out to me and something that got me thinking, because it really made me think about what is it that I want to do with this one life I was given. And my answer to that is that I want to help as many people as I can. I want to be an advocate, I want to be an activist, and I want to leave this planet knowing that I affected as many people positively as possible. And so I think that question really spurred my train of thought, and that's where I kind of realized where my medical interest comes in with my politics interests. So yeah, that was really, it was a really, really amazing experience, and those kinds of questions were posed every single day by speakers, which was mind-blowing at the least, to say the least.
Any other questions? Okay.
Ask away.
Yeah,
Anything.
I think it's picture time.
Yeah.
You good? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for your
Super
time.
impressed by you.
Thank you.